Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris and Jim. We're here to break down the trailer for Star Trek Into Darkness.
Now, this starts on the planet Nibiru. We see this in the IMAX preview that was attached to The Hobbit. Basically, they're saving a less advanced civilization from impending doom from this volcano. The big Starfleet no-no of no-nos is the do not violate the Prime Directive. When there's a less advanced civilization, which these guys clearly are because they're using spears and live in huts, as we see right here, you do not muck with their development. And Kirk, we'll see, is faced with a choice that could force him to violate the Prime Directive.
And so here's the potential result of that. He's getting dressed down by Pike here, who's out of his wheelchair.
Yeah. Admiral Pike, I believe he's an admiral now. He would be the one to perhaps punish Kirk by demoting him, maybe. I think so.
Now, we've seen this before. The Enterprise is underwater here, and that they're leaping down to it.
Yeah. The reason for that is that the Enterprise is hidden. They don't want to violate the Prime Directive. The fact that he's had to go all the way back to Earth to Starfleet to get spoken to means, yeah, he probably did it. And why did he do it? We'll find out a little later in this trailer. Here we go. Kirk about to do a space jump ship to ship, but right in here next to him, a second guy.
Yeah, and I you think this is Harrison, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it is John Harrison, the villain of the piece, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. I could be wrong, but I feel pretty safe assuming that. Let's see here, coming up, Harrison. Now, just walking around the streets of London for a guy described in this sequence of the trailer as a fugitive. He doesn't seem too worried about being noticed.
No, he might be a fugitive from a different time, which could point to Khan.
Right. The attack on London and Harrison's escape. I'm not sure what they're destroying there. Perhaps it is some sort of Starfleet headquarters. It would make sense given his axe to grind. Now here, Captain Kirk, what's he wearing, Chris?
Yeah, he's not wearing a captain's uniform. He looks like he's busted down to being a cadet.
Yeah, he's back in his old uniform from the first movie. Kirk apparently having to relearn the lessons of the first movie. Very, very familiar here, but not of Star Trek, Chris.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Star Wars, doesn't it? With the Millennium Falcon-esque ship here.
If only J.J. Abrams could somehow take over that franchise.
This is on the Klingon homeworld of Kronos, which we talked about in a previous rewind.
That's true. Now, coming up here, now, Mr. Spock
in a heat suit.
In a heat suit. And this is where violating the Prime Directive comes in. Again, anybody who saw that IMAX preview that was attached to The Hobbit, Spock is in a shuttlecraft. He gets dropped into the volcano to drop off a device that will stop the volcano and save that homeworld. They're trying to do this all on the sly without violating the Prime Directive, but Spock gets trapped. Kirk, faced with losing his friend and first officer, what will he do? He'll be Kirk.
Yep.
That's exactly what he'll do.
Now here, this is interesting. You see on this monitor here the Spock's vital signs, but that looks like the heat suit. And this is in that sequence where the Enterprise is underwater. It's also kind of shades of Episode 1 there with the underwater wildlife.
Because that's the Star Wars movie you want to reference. Oh, cheap shot. Sorry, folks.
Right.
Now there's the Enterprise, of course, emerging from the water, and I'm thinking this is, again, Nibiru, and they're probably violating the Prime Directive as we speak.
Just by showing their ship. Now here, this looks like a space dock, and we've seen this in other Star Trek movies.
Yeah, the space dock, it orbits around the Earth, and the fact that they're launching into warp speed right out of there, I think maybe this is the end of the movie, and it shows kind of a happy finale if they're just launching off on another mission, but I could be wrong.
Right now, this is Spock coming up. He's chasing Harrison through San Francisco, right?
Yeah, we're going to see a much more physical and it looks like athletically kind of powerful Spock than we're used to seeing. Right here, Kirk, back in a bar, like the first movie.
Back in a bar, having a chat with his mentor.
Yep, Pike.
He just doesn't learn.
He doesn't, does he? Right here, the Enterprise crashing into San Francisco Bay. You have a guess as to what area?
This might be, well, that's the bay, but it's separate from the bay. This kind of looks like an area around the Metreon, which is kind of downtown San Francisco. I could be wrong, but it looks very similar.
All right, folks. Well, that'll about do it. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll catch y'all next time.